Real talk.
Headlines have become it's sickening. They become poisonous.
Dissecting headlines.
Defying state orders. Sheriff Bianco not enforcing what the governor is saying.
Dialed in with decision makers.
Clarify what you actually meant.
Get the answers you need.
At the beginning of this, we were told, don't wear a mask. Is this really helping?
Expect a different kind of newscast. Fox 11 News Special Report. Weeknights at 7.
The World Health Organization estimates that each year approximately 1 million people take their own life. That's one death every 40 seconds. Experts predicted numbers would peak in 2020, but no one could have imagined the devastation brought on by COVID-19. During the coronavirus pandemic, you may experience anxiety, sadness, and loneliness. Existing mental health conditions, including severe anxiety and major depression, may worsen. If you're feeling hopeless, contemplating self-harm, or you're concerned about someone else, I'm here to tell you there is hope. A Mission for Michael is dedicated to helping clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation. Mission for Michael is the premier resource for intensive mental health treatment in Southern California. With an astonishing 2-to-1 client-to-staff ratio, each client in their facility receives individual care 24 hours a day, overseen by a team of all doctorate or master's level clinicians. With a focus on evidence-based treatment, along with personalized and compassionate care, they offer mental health treatment that can change lives. If you're suffering from mental illness or you're concerned about a loved one, go to amfmtreatment.com. Again, that's a mission for Michael, amfmtreatment.com, or call 866-581-4401. Again, that is 866-581-4401. With so much focus on keeping ourselves and our loved ones safe and healthy, it's easy to forget that most of us are going to experience things like allergies, colds, possibly even the flu. So, reminding you, proper hydration is crucial for all of these things. Remember, even slight dehydration can make you feel like you're getting sick, and none of us need that anxiety right now, that's for sure. That's where Hydrolyte comes in. Longtime fans will remember my obsession with Hydrolyte, which is simply the best oral rehydration product I've tried. I'm even more excited to introduce their brand new single-serve powder sticks. Simply pour 1 powder stick into a glass of water. They recommend 7 ounces. The powder dissolves almost instantly, creating the perfect balance of sodium, glucose, and water. Delivers up to 4 times the electrolytes of your typical sports drink. The other great news about Hydrolyte's new powder sticks, they're 100% all natural. No artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners. They're available in flavors like orange and lemonade, and they taste great. Hydration is crucial, and Hydrolyte is fastest and easiest way to stay ahead of it. Get your supply of Hydrolyte powder sticks now at hydrolyte.com/DRDREW. Again, that's HYDRALYTE.com/DRDREW, and then use that code Dr. Drew 25 at checkout. Hey, everybody. Susan just told me I should get up and get a jacket, so I guess I will do that.
Hey, everybody. It's a dose of Dr. Drew.
All right. Hi there. I'm a little confused by things. Sorry about that.
You look so posh in those ads. You look a little...
Well, let's go get a Coke. Grab it for me if you would.
I know you're doing...
Can you do that?
Yeah.
I'm watching the stream with you guys. Sorry, I just literally got off the freeway like this second. So if I seem at all addled, and there we go. I'll just throw that on. Thank you so much.
Did I just walk in front of the camera?
Yes, you did. That's quite all right. All right. Trying to make myself look a little more presentable.
Sorry, everybody. It's been one of those
good.
days. All right, let's start over.
All right.
Hey, everybody. It's a dose of Dr. Drew.
There we go. We're starting fresh and new. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to talk to you guys about today. I was looking at some of the data here locally and throughout the U.S. Let me see what the U.S. numbers are here. I mean, we're sort of in kind of I think this is going to be our pattern for a while. I agree with Dr. Fauci that we got difficulty to look forward to in the winter. But when you look at where we are versus the full range of where we've been, we're just sort of in a kind of a plateau-y kind of thing with maybe the hospitalization rate and the death rate dropping slightly throughout the country as we get better with therapeutics. So I'm kind of expecting that we're not going to have any major changes going forward. We'll have better distribution of better therapeutics, and then we'll have a vaccine soon. And that's kind of going to be our story for a while. And until we kind of get it together and learn to, wear a mask, do our distancing, do these things on a diligent basis, it's going to be hard to open businesses. It's funny. The California's here's what Ashley says. Let me read this. Californians are so. Oh, where'd she go? Well, I lost her. Hang on a second here.
Want me to find it?
New records. Sure.
Ashley?
Yes, Josette. I was on Andrew Santino's podcast, Whiskey Ginger.
Is that already up?
Burnside is back. I did see. Yes, it is up.
Wow,
I did
that was
see
fast.
the Great Barrington Declaration, and I saw an interview with those scientists well before I saw that declaration. So it's good. I mean, it's good you have dissenting opinions out there, and it's good that you sort of have people that are sort of contrary. Oh my gosh, I just got off the freeway here and sat down.
Sorry.
And Andrew Ashkazvili saying California back to no excess deaths, and that does not surprise me at all. California, we're doing extremely well, and why they maintain the continued death grip on businesses in California is just hard to imagine. So there's ways, again, as we all know, there's ways to do this and keep things safe, keep things reduced.
I had my nails done today. I got to go to the nail salon in person.
Nice.
She
well
looks
done.
really depressed. She's like, I don't know how long this is going to stay open. And she goes, I'm very happy, but my nail lady looks beaten down, I mean, she just looks like it's been really rough. But she's happy to be back at work. But they can only have 2 people in the salon at one time. So
Rory, I guess Dan Bongino has had a tumor removed from his neck being called lymphoma. There's different kinds of lymphoma. It depends on the cell type and some of the genetic profiles of the tumor. Some of them can be cured. Some of them you can live with for long periods of time. I assume we're talking about non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And those are serious illnesses, but they can be dealt with now. So that's the good news.
somebody said you look fine, but there's a little piece of hair sticking
Yes,
up.
there is. Let's see if I can get that.
Did you get your hair cut?
Did not.
Oh.
That's the problem.
Your hair looks like it's been cut recently.
No, it's just all it's all sticking out everywhere.
Well, you've got a lot going on in your life. You're running around town and trying to get from one podcast to the next.
Yes. Andrew, I'm hoping that Regeneron and Lilly monoclonal antibodies do get distributed. I like the idea that what Trump said, that he's going to distribute it to everybody that gets it. I think everyone should have access to that kind of thing. Ashley also wants to discuss how Dr. Victory says we no longer meet the pandemic qualifications. It's a case-demic. It's something that, we've all been talking about for quite some time, which is that when we document a case, we're not even necessarily talking about a sick person. We're just talking about somebody who measures positive on a 40 times augmented PCR test. And we're associating it with infectivity and infectiousness, which is a reasonable thing to say. But if you look at hospitalizations and death rate, it's generally going down dramatically. And now in many states, we see the excess death rate is below normal. Somebody had made a comment here about how Oklahoma is going up. Yeah, Oklahoma is going up, but it's going up from like 800 to 1,200. Let me actually get that number if I can. Give me a second here. There are states that are going up. There are states actually worthy of concern. Let's see if Oklahoma is one of them.
Wow, look at all these
Yeah,
questions.
Oklahoma's going from essentially 900 to 1,200. And the death rate is staying flat. The hospitalization rate is going up a little bit, though, from like 600 to 700. So it's, again, needs to be controlled, but it's not something to be, worried about. Yes, Andrew Ashkazvili, I see the free distribution would be amazing if we actually get that. That's taxpayer dollars, so we'll see if that gets if that actually gets distributed. Let's take a look at Florida. Florida is all open. Let's see if they're different than California, which is all closed. Lo and behold, it looks exactly like the California curves. 3,000 new cases, hospitalizations flat at 2,100. Death rate, I would say actually California has a slightly better looking death rate, but there's no increase. The point is there's no increase in cases in spite of Florida opening up. Now, Indiana, on the other hand, if I remember right, was kind of spiraling out a bit. Indiana is going much like Oklahoma. Indiana looks almost exactly like Oklahoma. So they have to kind of figure that out if they're going to stay open, which hopefully they can. New York, I think everyone's aware, had little local outbreaks. I thought what Mayor de Blasio did was having local measures was the right thing to do with that. States that are having trouble, I think it was Wisconsin, if I remember right. If I look at the Wisconsin graphs, Wisconsin's like straight up. And what happened in Wisconsin? They've been having lots of outdoor gatherings in Wisconsin, so there you go. The unfortunate thing about the Wisconsin numbers, it's gone from 1,000 to 3,000 cases per day, is that the hospitalization rate has gone from 400 to 900. The death rate's gone from 6 or 7 deaths a day to as high as 20 deaths a day. So these are significant changes in some states. Most states, though, are doing very, 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 very well. I'm really not worried about California. Our state clinical director insisted that we were going to have a 90% increase on our hospitalization rate in the next 3 weeks. We've had a 20% reduction, I'd say, something like that. So I'd like an apology from the person that's making that's you're looking at Wisconsin? Yeah, that's Wisconsin. So that's kind of nasty.
That's
especially,
a jump.
Especially if you look at the hospitalization rate there. So that's real. The real problem is that slope is strongly positive and staying positive. So they need to get that under control.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, they need to get that under control. It's not like some of the stuff we saw in the more populated states where it went up into the multiple thousands and tens of thousands. But I
finally met somebody today that actually had people die in her family and were affected by the COVID-19. My Maria at the office, her mother, her father, and her aunt all got COVID-19 from their caregivers, and the aunt passed away. But the father's 92 and he made it, and the mother's like 65, or the aunt was 65 and passed away. And I'm gonna bet that she was overweight because this woman is a little bit, but her mother had survived liver. It was on dialysis and had liver problems, and she made it. But the health workers brought it in, and then she lost her aunt. It's really sad.
So Braden is saying Disney World open since July, no cases traced back to the park. Exactly. And in fact, Disneyland and other theme parks have opened all over the world, or have worked with their state and international officials, and all have been given guidelines to open up, except California. Only government on earth that is not is not allowing Disney to come up with some safe protocols and open up. It's bizarre what's going on here. Show me the California data if you can. There we go. No, it's Wisconsin.
I know. I got to go back.
Yeah. Because you'll see that we've done nothing but flatter down.
Where do I go? The menu?
And we're supposed to be having a 90% increase.
If I'm on Wisconsin, how do I get back?
Just do our data. And then go down. Down. What is that?
States. Okay.
There you go.
States.
Yeah.
California?
Yeah. There you go.
I'm getting a little better at this.
You are getting good at this. We're good there. And so here we go. There's our hospitalization, our case rate in California. Go to the full picture. Go to the full thing.
Oh,
the full range. There you go. Up
full
the other
range. Way. Okay, that's full
okay.
range.
See where we are? That's where we were. That's where we are. We're going down. Hospitalization rate. Look how negative that is. The slope is on our hospitalization rate. He expects that to go up 90%. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, apologize and open Disneyland. It's really very, very disturbing. You see, California's done a good job. The population should be congratulated for having done so. Figure out safe ways to open the businesses.
I just hope Disneyland owns their land.
And as you see, many counties have opened, and there's been no change in any of this data. So come on now, give me a break. Maybe Disneyland should leave California.
Yeah, look,
maybe
the deaths
then.
are down too.
Oh yeah, everything's down. Maybe they should leave California, and then the government might get. Already, they've let 25,000 people go from these theme parks. My goodness, come on. JH, I don't know what you're talking about, because Disney has opened the parks throughout the world with in Disney World, no cases being traced back to it.
Disneyland is a little different than Disney World. For me,
no.
I think it's more spread out. And
Disney World?
Yes,
But yeah, then they let less people in.
Yeah, that's true. But then, is it worth opening?
Yes,
huge
that's up to
park
the business.
for
That is up to.
not
Look,
the
think of all the
capacity?
surrounding companies. Surrounding businesses that are going
I've got
out of
to
business
text
too.
Bick. See how he's doing.
Yeah, he may have been let go.
I know. I'm afraid.
Andrew's saying, I think leronlimab is further away than Regeneron. I agree. I mean, Regeneron probably has the attention of Secretary Azar because of the President of the United States getting so thoroughly behind it. I'm looking through your questions here.
That weird.
Suzanne,
What happened?
She has a therapist doing acupuncture on her, and that's rather. I worry about those ethical boundaries. You at least ought to see a psychiatrist who diagnoses a medical problem that could respond to something like acupuncture before a therapist is treating you with something like that. I don't object to acupuncture at all, but I object to jumping to a specific treatment without having a medical evaluation.
You see that one from Andrew? I heard the flat hospitalization in Florida, Texas is from them not sending nursing home patients back. They're holding them at the hospital and just take longer to recover.
I'm not quite sure what that means.
So they're not sending them back to the nursing homes.
Yeah.
They're keeping them in the hospital.
That's keeping the hospitalization rate up. That makes sense. Not necessarily a bad thing.
The flat hospitalization.
Yeah. So in other words, it would be going down if they were actually sending people home. But again, I think the hospitalization, is it by admissions per day or is it I think it's number of people in the hospital. You're right.
The guy said, Sarah said she was at the San Diego Zoo and that was more sketch than downtown Disney.
I would imagine.
It was sketch before.
But it was, again, it's all outdoors. It's in the, if you listen to the podcast that we did with Andrew Santini today, the Whiskey Ginger podcast, he got it out of doors, maybe even in the sun, we think. So it's, you see that even with the proper distancing and with the mask wearing, you can still get this thing. And he was feeling bad about it, which was really kind of surprising.
Somebody said Utah is spiking.
Okay, I'll take a look at that in a second. But first, I want you to put up that question about the pituitary tumor and Joshua.
Oh, what is that? Let me see.
Said, open my eyes about the pituitary tumor that totally turned my world upside down within a year. I never would have known without you. Joshua, do you have a prolactinoma or something? They're very common. They're very common. Okay, let's look at Utah.
The one with the heart?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Let's take a look at Utah and see what's going on there.
All right. Let me see if I can get it fast.
What is your THC question, Tom Cigar? Can I talk about wearing a mask between bites in California? Yeah. Think about, I worry about how we eat on aircraft because, that is a concentrated environment, even though the air is circulated regularly. Eating on planes, everyone have their mask off at the same time. That's concerning. Okay, so let's look at Utah.
It's going up.
Yeah, Utah looks the same as, it's not quite as bad, but it looks the same as, I guess, Wisconsin, right, in terms of cases. So yeah, Utah needs to let's look at the full picture. Look at their full.
Oh, they're not. Oh,
the full run. Yeah, the full range, rather. So yeah, so this is new for them. This is going to be their outbreak. What's interesting to me is if you look at places that have satisfactorily suppressed the outbreaks, they eventually get an outbreak.
Yeah.
Do you know where the worst country in Europe is right now, Susan?
Where?
It's the country that celebrated the end of the coronavirus in their country, and now they're the worst. They are the Czech Republic. And they have the worst outbreak right now.
Do they really?
Yes. France, and anywhere that believed they suppressed it and got rid of it, it comes back.
Yeah.
So this is what Dr. Victory was talking about. She was saying, look, it's going to come back. It's going to run its course. We just got to learn to navigate it, live with it. And exactly what that navigation is, I don't claim to know.
Republic on this thing?
I think you can.
Let's see here.
You have to go to COVID tracking project, data, yeah.
Data.
But you have to look for the right in the country, I think. 4,800 new cases in Germany. I know they're having an outbreak too. It's interesting. I was watching the BBC today, or yesterday, I guess it was today. And they were interviewing this dude from Berlin, and he was saying, yeah, well, when we gather in the clubs, we're going to have to find a way to do it outside and with greater social distancing. We are certainly not going to close our clubs, which was rather interesting.
It's just states. It's not giving.
But there is, I think, maybe if you go to COVID-19, oh, shoot, what is that? One of those other sites. I can't remember the name, their websites anymore. Andrew, maybe you can remind me of one of the good ones.
It is healthdata.org. That was the one that you gave us originally, remember?
Yes, that's the one. That will have, see how it has all kinds of countries on it.
See if they even have Czech Republic.
We don't really rely on that site anymore. They've been sort of off the chain a bit.
So how did you find out about the Czech Republic?
On BBC.
Because
Is that the Czech Republic?
no,
Technically?
that's where it's projected.
No, is that the Czech? Is this the Czech
It
Republic?
says, yeah, Czechia.
Is that the Czech Republic?
Yes, that's Czechia means Czech.
Okay.
That's what they call it.
All right. So look how
Czech
it's
Republic.
taken off there. That's deaths.
No, that's projected.
I understand. But
here they have like
let's go back up to the cases.
daily deaths is like, looks like it's about 18. Daily infections projected.
So, okay,
I don't
thank
know.
you.
Who knows if this is.
So let's look at cases again.
Here's mask use.
Cases.
Daily deaths.
There we
Deaths. That's more total deaths.
go.
That's total deaths. There's
Yes.
like,
Cases down,
I mean, it's a lot.
Down.
Total
down. There we go.
daily infection.
Okay, so you see how the graph is straight up, right?
That's projected though. It doesn't-
Then click on confirmed infections.
Ew.
Yeah, you see.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah, this
There are
is a
only
country that
3,000 people. They only have like 1 million people.
this is a country that supposedly had a huge celebration because they had eliminated the virus.
Well,
So-
maybe people just came into Prague and for the summer, the end of the summer.
Andrew wants to know how Illinois is doing. Apparently, they have
That's
a 20% rate of
my
antibodies
family's
there.
okay.
So one of the I've had these the representatives Additics on here a couple times, and I met with their scientists this morning, and I actually ended up calling Dr. Yogendra, whose name I've been
Yogendra.
mispronouncing all this time. Thank you for finally telling me.
We called him Yohendra, right?
I knew I had about a 50% chance of getting that wrong because nobody ever actually told me how to pronounce his last name. But
He might have once, but we that was a long time ago.
quite contrary, I did know Eddie Van Halen. I did. He's from Pasadena. I saw them play in 1973, and I helped him with his alcoholism a little bit.
Did
along
he?
the way.
Did you treat him?
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Oh, I remember when those guys were in Las Encinas.
Wonderful guy. Wonderful dude.
I think like the whole band was in there, wasn't it?
If they were, I could not tell you.
I
But
know.
now that Eddie is gone, I can at least say that I had helped him.
We won't tell anybody.
No, technically I'm
That
allowed
was
to talk about it.
1984 or 5. So like,
So I had the Additics guys in here, and I talked to their scientists this morning, and they believe they're going to be able to answer the question, am I immune? They are having very specific memory B cell markers and very specific T cell spectrums where they're going to be able to say this person is immune to COVID-19 after they've had it. And they're going to be able to tell who is immune after getting the vaccine, which can be very important. And we believe we're going to be able to show means of improving immune resistance and documenting who may be resistant because of previous coronavirus cold exposure rather than just the SARS-2, other coronavirus. So this was very exciting to talk to these scientists. They were Stanford scientists.
was it
And that's going to be coming
Amro
in.
Albania?
Amro was there.
Albana?
It was the other.
Shebang.
No. No. Sharuk.
Sharuk Shabahang.
Yes. And
I don't have his poster.
it
I
was
think I took
very
down.
exciting reviewing that science. They're going to have that in the new year, so I'm very much looking forward to help them get that information out there.
That's cool.
So I called Dr. Yogendra to say, can we study?
Yogendra.
Can we use this technology to study the long haulers? So he's talking to Dr. Patterson about that.
So here's the deal. If you're a great scientist, you have to have a super hard name.
You're right. Anthony Brown, the issue isn't so much about the nares versus nasopharynx. It is the PCR is more accurate than the antigen, the rapid antigen. And there are some very rapid PCR tests that are quite accurate out there. I was watching it on terrestrial TV, the BBC International, worldwide rather. Thank you, Dun 997. Joshua, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Be more specific. Maybe I can address your question there. I'm sorry, Danny, that they're having trouble drawing your blood. I mean, finding the right target is the important thing. Advice on borderline personality. Diagnosis was told DBT would be helpful. I'm skeptical and concerned the long-term DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, does help with borderline personality. It's one of the interventions that has shown very clearly to be useful. So do get in a DBT individual or a group therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy for borderline. If you remember, what's the football player that wears the green shoes? He was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and had an excellent response to DBT.
I found Dr. Sharak Shabahang. Shabahan.
Sharuk Shabahang, yeah.
Was it Sharuk? I think he said
Sharuk.
Sharak. There it is. That was
him.
Yeah, it was on a previous episode if anybody wants to see more about.
But we're going to get more information going forward. In November or so, I'll have more of the specific technologies that they're going to be rolling out. What was the philosophy podcast that I wanted Christine to go on? Ivan, I think it is. It is Partially Examined Life. Partially Examined Life, very good. If you go all the way back to their early, you may have to sign up now to be a part of their sort of inside group. By the way, speaking of pay for pods, I'm going onto an organization called locals.com, where it's going to be the equivalent of the PayPal, where I'm going to gather people together in small groups and have all kinds of interesting sorts of smaller interactions, live interactions, Zoom interactions. So it's a locals.com. I'll have that up and running pretty soon. And part of that was going to be you guys getting in there and sort of building community and telling me what you want. And I will try to meet the demand. It's locals.com. And again, Dr. Drew is the name there. Do I recommend getting a flu shot? Absolutely. Why do you regret it, the vapist? Why do you regret it? If you'd gotten the flu, believe me, you would regret not having had the flu shot.
What about using Hydrolyte before you go to get your blood drawn?
I don't think it would make much difference. But if you have any reaction to the flu vaccine, by all means,
no, for hydration to get a blood draw.
Helpful. If you're well hydrated when you go in for a blood draw, for the blood drawer like myself, it's much. Let's put it this way: being dehydrated makes it a lot more difficult to draw your blood. Joshua, I don't
get
see
your
you.
Hydrolyte today, everybody. Go to drdrew.com/Hydrolyte and use the code drdrew25. You can't see it there, but it's drdrew25. You'll get 25% off.
Joshua, I see you. Thank you for that. I'm glad. I'm glad you found out about all that. DBT, Tiger Stripe, stands for Dialectical Behavioral Therapy. It's a kind of a cognitive behavioral therapy, but it was originally designed for borderline disorder, and it works. It really helps them. Does pneumonia cause low blood pressure? Yes, it can. When you're sick, you can get low blood pressure. When you're septic, you get very low blood pressure. It's just how our bodies respond. It's why we give you IV fluids to try to push these things up, increase the blood pressure and keep the kidneys hydrated, that sort of thing. Good. Done 997. You're going to be at Locals. That's great. They're an interesting organization, interesting group, really want to create quality. Essentially, they want to get us away from the vitriol and negativity of social media and get into an environment where we can really do what we want to do without worrying about cancellation or people reacting. It's just a community that's supporting itself.
Kelty says Hydrolyte has changed her life seriously. Awesome stuff. Drink one every morning.
Fantastic.
I'm having one right now, as a matter of fact.
I know. Susan loves Hydrolyte.
I should drink more because it helps me drink water. I just drinking water is boring, you know.
Your left eyelid swelled and you felt bloated and loss of appetite. So the vapist, that's interesting. So next time you got to tell your doctor you may have had an allergic reaction. There are non-egg albumin alternatives out there, but you want to be careful about vaccines with egg albumin or anything related to that. And when the COVID vaccine comes out, you're going to have to talk about that. Interesting. Thank you, Joshua.
There's a lot of questions today.
Yeah, a lot of questions. I'm trying to follow you around.
Well, we've been doing a lot of shows with guests, so it's your time to ask questions.
Yes, this is it. And again, when we get into the Locals thing, hopefully it will be through other kinds of mediums and chats and videos and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm aware of what's going on in Armenia because I have lots of Armenian friends.
Yeah. I have to call Silva, see how her family's doing in Lebanon.
Kimberly, I'm sorry you're going to have to need some IV antibiotics, but that's what happens with kidney infections oftentimes. Can I explain? Wait, I lost you. Can I explain universal health care and what's my opinion on it? I'm sure that seems like too big of a topic for me. We should get somebody in here that can really discuss it. Just to say it's a government-run system. And my question to you is, does the government run any system? Do you want your medical system to be run
You're
like
already experiencing that.
do you, yeah, do you want, there's, universal Medicare is one thing, which is a way of saying a very popular system like Medicare gets expanded to everybody. But universal healthcare could also mean a government-run system, which means a DMV-like system for your healthcare. And that would be, I'm not sure this country is ready for that.
Thank you, Twitch. Sturbs1 on Twitch said, damn, Drew looks good. So good, Drew.
Okay, I'm looking okay.
Yeah, you're
I
okay.
didn't have time to. Jeremy, thank you for the super chat. Let's see. If you had any knowledge on PCR analyzers and the cyclic threshold,
Where is
and
it?
how they relate to
Let's
positive,
see.
this needs to be had. Yeah.
look at all
So Christian Edwardson. So it's why we've been concerned about the so-called case-demic, which is that in this country, rather than doing 25 cycles, we do 40 cycles. So we have very, very, very sensitive tests that is picking up even just parts of viral RNA that might be circulating in the environment, maybe landing on somebody's nose, but may not even be causing an infection. It's a convention we've decided to do here, it seems like. It's creating an awful lot of positive cases that are not sick and may not even be contagious. So as Dr. Victory was saying, the really significant data we need to always look at is the death rate and the hospitalization rate and the excess above baseline death rate, all of which have been going down or at least contained to the point where, according to Dr. Victory, we're actually not in a technical pandemic any longer. So, yeah, there is concerns about the way we are documenting our PCR results.
Jeremy said, Hydrolyte's great. I put a tablet in my daughter's sippy cup after she plays outside. I tell her it's candy.
Kimberly, a Kaiser system might be good. I think the bottom line is that we need multiple tiers of systems. I don't know why we can't admit that we can have certain kinds of and tiers and certain. Really what we need to do is figure out how to cover all the people that don't have health care. Mm-hmm. But trust me, even doing that will not change the homeless situation because we've put such egregious laws in places that prevent us from helping people that need help. It's truly unbelievable. So, the ability to actually give care to the people that need it will still be impaired. So, whatever. Let's see here. Healthcare system that isn't grounded in profit. Well, JH, maybe, at least part of it, I agree with you. But the other part...
Nobody will want to be a doctor.
You want that innovation, so we continue the research and all that we're getting. I mean, the reason we are having a decrease in our hospitalization and death rate in this country is because we have a profit motive that spools up in response to something like this and has done an amazing job.
Andrew wants to know what my psychic friends see for the rest of the year. He said he's afraid to watch the show. We did have kind of a sobering show this week, and because we used an astrologist who said that the numbers are they're showing that things aren't going to really clear up until probably March.
Oh, that makes sense to me.
We're going to have things are going to start the end of December, and then it's going to be a couple of months. It's going to take a while for the universe to let us out. This is a time of change.
I have to interrupt you.
I know. So anyways, you should listen. It's not scary, Andrew.
Okay.
Seriously.
Richard, there are plenty of doctors in the UK. Of course there are. And they have a private and a public system. They have a two-tiered system, exactly like I was saying. And for Bob C., my opinion of kratom, please, if you have opiate addiction, do not take kratom. It is an opiate. And if you're an opiate addict and you take an opiate, even a weak opiate like kratom, it does not go well. It just doesn't go well. If it would work, I would have no problem with it. But if you're on replacement therapy and you want another kind of a replacement, then fine. But that's a hard thing to manage. And you do not manage your own drugs, your own medication if you are an addict. Your brain is diseased and will affect the relationship with that substance and will not go well. I promise you.
Tom Cigar is a super chat.
Lifelong anxiety attacks, recently high-dosed THC on weekends to induce anxiety at home. I did that for about a year. Now I navigate attacks much better. Does this sound legit? I don't know quite what you... Well, I will tell you something, from what I'm getting you, from what I'm getting from what you said, I could say that leaning into panic is a good thing. So if you were saying that you induced it and leaned into it and regulated it, that makes sense to me. Do I ever think the virus will be decreased to rates of seasonal flu or lower? I do. I think we're vaccinated. Once we're vaccinated, it certainly will. Germany has a public health care option that everyone's required to have by law, right? And there's a private one. Yeah, again, Germany's system. And I don't know why we don't look at Germany's system more thoroughly, because I was with a resident once who was from Germany. She was saying that system was better than the British system. And why we don't look at it, I don't know. And again, multiple tiers. Why we can't talk about multiple tiers is nuts. Because if you give multiple tiers to people that are resistant, they suddenly become non-resistant, right? Then they're saying, so I could choose to have it in the public system or not. Okay, it's whatever. Again, we are
smaller areas though. We're the United States.
We're big
America.
and we're diverse. That's right. You're right.
I think each state should have their.
Is it possible that past mushroom trips can cause mental problems down the road? Yes. All hallucinogens. I've seen so many downstream psychiatric problems from moderate doses or high doses of hallucinogens. So they all scare me. All hallucinogenics scare me for their potential for causing trouble down the line. Casey, why is alcoholism called a disease? Why is anything called a disease? You have to be able to define disease to understand whether something is or is not a disease. And so a disease is a relationship between the substrate and the individual genetics and the environment. That interaction causes an abnormal state of physiology. We call that pathophysiology. That pathophysiology is reflected in signs and symptoms. The signs and symptoms follow a predictable pattern. That pattern is called a natural history, and we try to change that natural history with treatment. People get a little freaked out about addiction because they don't know where the pathophysiology is. It's in the brain. It's particularly in the reward apparatus. It's in the ventral tegmental input into the shell of the nucleus accumbens, and it causes, in genetically prone individuals, alterations in those cells that change the motivational systems of the brain permanently. And all the other brain systems, the thinking, reasoning, emotions, all that serves now a broken, distorted motivation that's always geared towards using. That's why it's a disease. There are several candidate genes. An LL allele in the serotonin transporter and a single amino acid substitution of the GABA A receptor confers a 100% probability of developing alcoholism, regardless of deeper problems. Now, if you have trauma, that is the rocket fuel behind addiction, but now you have addiction and trauma. Let me try to go up in your questions here. Let's see.
You getting tired?
I am tired. I am. And I've got to go do another show here. Part 2, same question. Let's see.
Here's some good news. We have Andrew Santino, otherwise known as Cheeto Santino, on Wednesday.
Which is great.
He's reciprocating. He had COVID-19. He's going to tell his story, right?
That's right. He's had it. Jericho, this is now a good question. Just because I have said that I worry about hallucinogenics, he asked, how do we feel about articles stating that microdosing mushrooms could fix depression? I do believe that properly studied, properly dosed, and properly selected hallucinogenics will have therapeutic properties. I do believe that. Dread of end of life, clearly good for LSD right now. Curing depression with microdosing mushroom, it seems a little too good to be true to me, but I do believe there will be therapeutic. I'm fully supportive of all the research being done on hallucinogenics right now.
What's a super sticker? Pear character holding his belly laughing out loud. What is that, AJ? Do you have a question, AJ?
Yes, the vape.
Give us money. We go straight to your question.
Same in UK. Germany's track and trace.
I can't
is
see
very
the
good.
stars on Facebook, though, here on the restream. So anybody who's giving us stars on Facebook, I really appreciate it. Let us know that you did.
Joshua, I feel depressed and whatnot, but I seem to be productive. I'm so unproductive. I don't know how this manifests. I'm not quite sure what you mean. The unproductive.
You feel so depressed.
I'm feeling better. I feel like we're all slowly coming out of our cocoon.
Yeah, things are picking up.
I feel like there's stuff happening slowly, and immediately my mood improved. It's ridiculous.
Because you're a workaholic.
I will tell you, just getting on the freeway today and seeing a freeway in the middle of the day that was normally trafficked, I felt good. It was weird. And so,
That's funny.
Xavier Average, Dang Gaming X. I'm so glad you went to the therapy. Well done. Well done. He says he broke the intergenerational trauma cycle. And he is a Twitch follower. So thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Hey, Twitch.
Thank you, Jericho. I appreciate that comment. I will not read that, but that's a moving statement.
We have like
I appreciate
500
that.
followers on Twitch now, so I'm very, very happy about that.
I can't find an OBGYN will help me. I'm 33, never been pregnant, showing signs of premenopause. AJ, where do you live? There are gynecologists that specialize in this kind of thing. You know what you should do? Susan, where can people go to get in with Dr. Donovitz's network?
Let me look it up.
Okay. So hold on, AJ. We're going to find something for you.
I can't remember off the...
Yeah, GSR, you feeling better too? Yeah, Chef Ava B, I have real concerns about the restaurant industry. I just can't believe your states are doing this to the you're not finding a way for you to be able to do your job.
It's
really unfair. Say it again.
It's on Facebook too.
AJ, here it comes. We'll put it up there, Susan, on the
Let's see if I can do this.
Put it on the stream. Ooh, what are you doing? Oh, I see you're going to show it up there. Hope I had a great dinner with Adam last night. Funny how you interrupted him, his interview with Tucker Carlson. Susan, you know about that?
Yeah, you told me.
Have I seen the latest research?
So he mentioned it on the thing. So his name is Dr. Gary Donovitz. He's from Biote Medical. You can see BIOTE Medical. And he's on Facebook, and you can look it up on...
But he has a network of physicians that do this kind of thing, and they do a really nice job with hormone replacement therapy.
He's been on our show a couple of times, and he's nationwide. He has a nationwide organization.
So, Joseph Giannata, yes, I did have a nice dinner with Adam last night, and I was calling him. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I was calling him to ask about this dinner to try to clarify the time. I did not know he was on Tucker Carlson. He did not have to have his phone ringer on and tell Tucker that I was calling him. But what happened was I called him from our house phone, which I believed
has my name on it,
which I didn't think had an ID on it.
I gotta call them and tell them to take my name off of that.
Right. So I didn't think it had caller ID at all. So I thought, he's never going to pick that up. I'll call from my cell phone. So I immediately called from my cell phone right after that. So it looked like Susan was calling him, then I was calling him within 17 seconds of each other. And that's what was weird. And that's why we thought it was an emergency or something.
It's so funny. You're like the wife that calls in the middle of the taping.
Do wives do that? Thank you, the vapist. I didn't know.
Thank you, the vapist. Look at that.
Yes, thank you, my friend. Crisis fatigue. Yes, I think we are into crisis fatigue.
Yeah.
My mental health has suffered the last several months. My wife has severe health anxiety. Bones, Revo. Oh man, you are not alone. Crisis fatigue is everywhere. That's why I've been, it's causing anxiety, depression, alcohol use. Alcohol use is like 400% or something. And opiate overdoses and benzodiazepine excesses.
Okay.
So we have to do something about it.
So Joshua said we're showing our age with landlines. If I didn't have a gate attached to the landline, I would not have
we got rid of it for a while, and I
got rid of it, and then my gate didn't work.
Yeah. So Sarah, hear what she says. My daughter put this one up there, will you? My daughter works at Disneyland. Sarah Schooner, right there, Schoonberger, right in the middle. My daughter works at Disneyland, and the stress is unbelievable. She's been furloughed since March. Not sure yet if she's part of the layoffs.
Oh.
I'm
going to text Beck.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I think it's reprehensible. It's reprehensible. Is there a good alternative to metformin? Patrice, are you a diabetic, or are you taking it for polycystic ovarian disease? If you're diabetic, there's a lot of options out there now these days. How do I feel about Seroquel being prescribed for problems falling asleep? Yeah, Danny, Seroquel will cause you to eat and gain weight. It is a good medication if you really have agitation. And if you're having severe insomnia, with a major psychiatric illness, it makes sense to me. But just for somebody just for insomnia, I don't know about that. Susan, why don't we put up Pennsylvania? People have lots of... the election, Adam, is also adding to the crisis fatigue and the demonstrations and the looting and all this stuff. It just makes people feel extremely unhappy and distressed. Pennsylvania, is that Pennsylvania?
No.
Okay, let's just go.
There was a thing.
No. I am on
gotta
Channel
find
11
the-
tonight, Joseph, which is the Fox 11 here in Los Angeles.
Here,
And we'll be talking with the San Bernardino Board of Supervisor about why he can't get his county open, which is insane. They've done a masterful job of bringing an outbreak under control. So here is Pennsylvania. Yes, Xavier, I hope I get on Rogan soon. Please campaign on my behalf. I talked to Andrew Santino
a
about it
lot
today
of
too.
people have.
So
campaigned,
there we go. Let me see the full range thing.
I did. I thought I did.
No, this is the.
Doggone it.
So okay, so
New
cases
cases.
are going up. They're sort of.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but it needs, they need to pay attention. Let's go to the cases and go
Look at
back.
the deaths. They're
Deaths are
really
looking good, but
low.
go away from full range to the more narrow time frame, the 90 days. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So it's kind of flat. I mean, it's hovering around 1,000 cases. You certainly the hospitalization rate is what's concerning.
But that's a
why?
big
That's
area.
usually that's usually a
600.
lag behind the. So there's
How many
something
people are in
anomalous going on here. There's just something not right about this data. So I suspect you will see an increase in the cases. You'd like to see a decrease. Hopefully the hospitalization rate will flatten out and come down. Well, thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that for campaigning on Rogan. I appreciate that.
Oh, we've had millions of people.
Missouri, they want to see Missouri.
I don't think he just doesn't like you.
Yeah, Brian, he does mention me, but he doesn't mention me positively, and I'd like to give an opportunity to meet him. And well, we used to be friends. I mean, I used to know him. I used to come on Loveline all the time.
Yeah.
But I like to
Maybe
see
you
him in
pissed
his.
him off.
I don't know how I did that. I evidently I did. I like all his
Does
products.
Adam go on?
No,
See?
that's an interesting. Maybe it's I don't know. Can we go to Missouri, Susan?
What? Oh,
Missouri?
Can we go to Missouri? Yeah, sure, anytime.
No. On the thing here.
I know, I was being funny. Let's see if I can get Missouri.
Did I see Alex and Berenson tweet
minute.
about 29-year-old marked COVID but really was an overdose? Yeah, Ashley, I know lots of things like that out there going down as COVID but are really other medical problems. Yeah, GSR maybe does have something to do with Adam. I don't know. But I thought they were friends too. Last I looked.
Have you asked Adam?
I did. I mean, I was lobbying to try to get him to heal up with David Allen Greer, but he would not do it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe it's because of that.
I don't know. I just don't know. Susan, if you ever come to Dallas Fort Worth, look at homes. Let me know. You bet, Andrew. The Seguras are trying to get us to move to. They're lobbying hard to get us to move to Austin. A lot of Californians are fleeing to Texas. A lot.
What did you want? Missouri?
Missouri.
Wait, you wanted Missouri?
I want Missouri. There we go.
I know, it's hard to find.
All right.
I'm getting tired too.
I know. Okay. No, Missouri's looking pretty good. Though that weird that the case rate is flat and the hospitalization rate is
they have
positive.
more hospitalizations than the other place.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, 1,000 moving up to 1,100. So
it's flat case rate. It's a very
2,000
strange
new
phenomenon.
cases. How big
I'm
is
wondering, you know what you got to
Missouri?
look at in your own state? If you're seeing an increase in hospitalization but a flat case rate, take a look at, first of all, whether or not everything's being reported. But secondly, is it nursing home outbreaks? This looks to me like nursing home outbreaks because then that's where you see the sudden increase in hospitalizations.
Huh.
So, Natalie, there's a lot of Californians moving there.
I bet the market is
Thank you,
really high.
JH.
But it's expensive. I'll get
Right.
more for you.
Joshua, Christina P. and I have about 3 after darks we've done that are very much like Love Lines. Very much.
Okay, so I was testing the sound today for the promo for the Dr. Drew After Dark. And it went live and people were like, what happened? But anyways, if you saw that, it's because I was testing the sound and somehow do you want to see what it was?
What do you mean?
Which episode it was?
No. I know which one it was. That's okay. No.
You don't want me to play it today?
Okay. All right. But let me just, before you do,
I'll play it at the end.
Okay. Jenny's asking brain imaging for mood disorders. 31, untreated traumatic brain injury as an infant, bipolar with psychosis, as well as fibromyalgia. Well, Jenny, that's really an interesting question. Dr. Dan Amon believes he's getting a lot of useful information from SPECT scan. It has been my experience working with him, that if you have evidence or concerns about possible organic brain component or brain injury component, whether it's chronic traumatic encephalopathy or localized brain injury, I have found specs to be particularly helpful. I think for you as a patient, it's very reassuring to be able to point at something and go, oh, it is related to the traumatic brain injury. Huh, interesting. It's neurological. I'm not crazy. It's my brain. Those kinds of things can really be reassuring for people. So you might want to think about that.
Did you see that Disney bought land in Texas to move Disney to?
Get ready.
What
Andrew
part
says.
of Texas?
I'm sure it's Dallas. Vancouver City Council voted unanimously Thursday night in favor of Mayor Kennedy Stewart's $30 million plan to house hundreds of homeless resident vacant buildings. That's great, CJ. The problem is that it won't happen.
Does anybody know?
People don't understand. Homelessness is not about not having a home. We have billions of dollars, tons of resources for spaces. Homelessness is about mental illness being untreated and unchecked. And the patients don't want the treatment. They have anosognosia. They're not willing to take it. And if you don't give the treatment, they won't stay indoors. They will always end up outdoors. So
somebody said, what do you do after a COVID diagnosis?
You call your doctor. You decide, what the symptom complex is. You decide whether you get on any kind of treatment.
Quickly go to the doctor. Don't wait.
Early treatment is very helpful. If you can get on, I personally, if you're older, you want to get on Regeneron if you possibly can. You'd want, if you're having any fevers or you're going downhill in any way, you'd want a convalescent plasma.
If you want more
possibly
information, you can watch the show we did this week,
Yes.
Ask Dr. Drew, with Dr. Vladimir Zelenko and Dr. Ram Yogendra.
I like the way you pronounce it.
I'm telling you, I know, I just had to put in the little European flair, but I'm glad we say Dr. Rams.
Oh my gosh,
now.
that's too funny. Well, yeah, he had to straighten me out.
But what Zelenko was saying was, the president got help right away. He went right into the hospital. They gave him the right protocol. And they didn't wait around, He didn't say, hey, I have to go do this thing first. He just went to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid to go to the hospital.
Let's see. I'm looking at some of the data here. Okay, let's go back to the stream and talk to you guys. Let's go here. GSR is Regeneron available yet? It's not yet. It's not been approved. You might be able to get it on a compassionate basis, but the idea of getting it early and widespread is really what the federal government seems to be focused on, and that could be useful.
Somebody said there's a hurricane on Tyrus again.
Yes. Is it true that Regeneron is made from stem cells? Stefan, I believe that may have been an initial sort of piece of the research. I believe it's a monoclonal antibody bacteria generated now, but the original structure may have had something to do with stem cells. Indiana's going in the wrong direction. Yeah, I did see. Well, you're not going badly in the wrong direction, but you do need to learn to live with this virus differently. Something is going wrong that you need to distance more, or I don't know what environments. They got to trace back what environments are really the problem. And if it's nursing homes, the infection control in the nursing home has to be much better. Okay.
So Tyra said that the hurricane's supposed to land tomorrow, Saturday. So,
you texted Tyrus?
Well, I did earlier, because we're not going to do a show Monday with him because we may have to move it to Tuesday because you have something else. But he said that I asked him when it was coming, and he said Saturday, but maybe it already hit.
Tracy Avery, if you look at the speech I did at the White House, it's up on C-SPAN. Where is that on our website, Susan?
What's that?
The White House lecture I gave on homelessness.
Yes.
Yeah. So Tracy Avery Dugan, you can watch the whole lecture there. That's where I go through everything, and it takes about an hour to go through it. So it's a thing, and you'll be surprised what a mess we've gotten ourselves into. And you have to talk about the entire history to really understand how we got here, and the IMD exclusion, the laws that make everything legal. Drug use, drug trafficking, stealing to support your drug habit. It's crazy.
What was the name of that organization that you did that for?
C-SPAN. It was on C-SPAN. It was the White House. Shashir Campbell. How often do we get tested? I've been tested a ton. It's sort of random. Are we going to get tested in New York, Susan? Well, I'm going to get tested. I'm doing
Yeah, I
something for
guess so.
MTV. I'll be tested. Yeah. And are we going to get tested through Hudson Yards or
No,
through MTV?
You said MTV's sending
Yeah,
people.
I think
over.
they are. I did some stuff for the Jersey Shore crowd, and I had to get tested twice for that, both PCR and rapid antigen.
There it is. I found it.
Okay.
I think the White House Summit.
The White House Summit, it's called.
Okay, I'm going to post it so you guys can look at it after this.
Okay. Yeah, I do need to wrap up, Susan. I need to get going. I'm sorry I was sort of out of sorts when I landed here, not knowing what I was doing.
That's
Russ
because
says
you are busy.
Yeah, Russ says, I'm normally very peaceful, but lately I'm waking up absolutely furious for the last week or so. Should I try a specific type of medication, etc.? Appreciate you guys. Russ, take a look at whether or not that's not something called irritability. And irritability became a part of depression and anxiety for that matter. So if maybe before you jump on medication, how about seeing a therapist? Because everything, there's so much nonsense bearing down on us right now. Who isn't irritable? Who isn't feeling aggressive? I just be careful. Don't do anything stupid. Think everything through, and go see a therapist before you jump on medication. Patrice, thank you. Yes, Poco Toro. What do you mean there aren't enough beds to admit everyone early? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, you mean early for the disease? Everyone at risk. Everyone at risk we can easily admit. Unless we get in some sort of outbreak. Yeah, I'm not saying Regeneron should be given to a 30-year-old with COVID. Absolutely not. But a 7-year-old with COVID with a fever going down, absolutely. Within the first hours, I would hope they would get something like Regeneron.
Just keep coming with the questions.
Yeah, we got to.
We'll be back this weekend. I'm thinking
Saturday,
possibly tomorrow.
Okay.
And Sunday. We're not going to be here Monday, so I'll see if we can hook up with Tyrus on Tuesday to see how he did.
Okay.
He says they're okay so far.
Okay, great. Santino on Wednesday. Yes, that's right, Xavier. And we appreciate you guys being here. Again, I was out of sorts when I landed. I think we had a decent conversation here. I'm going to get more of that Additics information for you guys about really our measures of immunity are crude right now. They're very crude, and we're going to make them very specific with being able to check markers for memory B cells and the spectrum of T cell function in cellular immunity. I'm very excited about this.
So when is the next presidential debate?
I don't know. Chris, I'm an alcoholic in recovery.
I'm
I just
asking
celebrated.
other people.
I understand, but you look at that super chat. I'm an alcoholic in recovery. I just celebrated 10 years of sobriety. Congratulations. I have two sons, aged 10 and 12. Is there a way for me to find out if either or both of them have the genetic markers for alcoholism that I mentioned?
What did I do with it?
That's not commercially available as of yet. However, what I have found is that people with addiction or with alcoholism know which children have it. And if you have to ask that question, I'm betting neither of them do. And the reality is whether you have one or both parents with alcoholism, the probability of a given child getting it is about 50%. So if you have two kids, it's just as likely to have two with it as two without it. It's a little more likely to have one each, one with, one without. But many times the gene doesn't go through. So if you had three kids, probably the next one would get it statistically, right? 2, 1, 1, 2 is the highest probability. So check it out, and we will see you guys through the weekend.
I think I erased that guy's last comment. I hope he got to hear it. I don't know what happened. I did it, and it flashed, and then it.
What's that?
Last question.
Something was canceled, Andrew says.
Oh, yeah. Did I cancel his question?
It was canceled, Susan. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
I didn't mean to
Which question are we talking about?
The last one you just answered.
The alcoholic?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what happened. I just, poof. It flipped away. So I
average damn. Wait. What did I got to read what this says?
What was his name? Do you know?
No, it's here. It's Chris Dalgaard. DHLGAARD.
Chris, are you still with us? I didn't mean to cancel you.
Hang on. I saw somebody asking something in all caps. Oh, there it is.
Oh, somebody said they can't wait for Andy Santino. It's really nice of him to come on.
It's Average Dad Gaming. LMAO. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Anyways,
I see you, Xavier. I don't know what that means.
Don't forget to watch Wednesday after we get back.
B World. So the alcoholism is genetic. Yes. You either have the gene or you do not. Genes are not destiny, right? It's transmitted at the rate of about 50% per child. But just because you have the gene doesn't mean you necessarily manifest the illness. Right.
I'm
Here's
gonna
my
take a picture of
executive
this.
producer calling me for the Fox 11 show. So I need to go. I appreciate you guys coming in today. We'll see you across the weekend. Mark, hold on 1 second. I'll
Okay.
be right there.
Okay.
And we'll see you all during the weekend, okay?
Okay. Take it easy.
The good news is that I will be doing a lot more butt stuff after everything is healed.
Oh, good news. So what she has done is she has torn her anus.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think you mean the scientific word is butthole. She got her butthole fixed.
Inner butthole.
Her inner
Inner
butthole.
butthole.